Hello people, this is Eric Cobra.
And Ron and Araja.
Warlord 1.
And, well, this should have been Let's Play Let's Co-op Divine Cybermancy Blind. That's also what it should have been, like, what was it, a week ago? Or was it 2 weeks ago? I can't remember. I think it was a week ago.
Yeah, I think it was last week.
Yeah, that's also where it should have been. Problem is, the game has completely died on us. Well, not all of us. See, the game has completely fucked up in unique cases for every one of us. In Warlord's one case, it has simply refused to start. All the time. Every time. In Rana's case, it refused to accept that I have activated a co-op server. And in my case, well, it seems to work fine, but no one can join, so... And we tried fixing it. We have tried. But, apparently it's not a problem only we have. Apparently others have simply experienced that the data has become corrupted in some way. And, well, yeah. So, to fix things, we would have to start over.
We tried this, that, the third, and the fourth thing.
Oh, yeah.
So, then we did them all over again.
Yep. And we can't be bothered to start the game from the entire start. So instead, we decided that, well, there's not much to do. The game ends here. Sorry, LP's over. So, our thoughts on the game. It lacks polish. That's probably the nicest way I can say it. I mean, it's an okay game. It's quite fun at times, too. Most of the levels were actually quite fun, except that Mars level that was quite painful. But the game has a lot of interesting ideas, but it lacks polish. It's buggy. Like, really, really buggy, as you can see here, where the game randomly corrupts its own data for no foreseeable reason. I mean, jeez. And it lacks polish. It really needed more work to become a complete game. There's some brilliance hidden here, but it really needs to be worked more. It has a lot of interesting idea of what the player can do, but the problem is you get it all thrown in your face from the start, and then supposed to just figure it out on your own, rather than, a gradual entry into the world. Not to mention its story, which is all over the place, is taking the Final Fantasy 13 route of, just having the characters all go along, and then you're supposed to read a freaking library in the meanwhile to understand what's going on. So the story is kind of disjointed unless you want to read up on all the lore, and, well, you really shouldn't have to do that to follow the basics of the story.
Rana, what's your opinion?
My opinion is that for all its flaws, that again, design-wise and the different opponents you meet and all that, to me it is actually a kind of unique flavor for an FPS.
Yep, I agree.
So yeah, it has this whole sci-fi, cyberpunkish thing to it that I actually have to say I think it is actually unique enough that you can say it can stand on its own as the divine whatever it was style.
I'd have to say that I agree with Cobra that parts of it are very unpolished. For example, the jumping thing and the jumping and climbing physics, where you might end up standing on top of another character, making both of them unable to move.
Yeah, that's just weird.
Yeah, stuff like that kind of needs some work. But there are other parts of the game that I think are really brilliant. I mean, in some places it kind of reminded me of Blade Runner. In other places it reminded me of Alien.
Oh yeah,
and it's
basically entered.
Yep, and it's nice it can have so many different flavors, and it has a lot of interesting ideas, but the game really needs more polish. It really needs to be more stable, less buggy, but it has a lot of good ideas, but it's like a guy who can somewhat juggle a lot of things in the air, but not entirely, so lots of balls stay in the air, but also lots of them fall to the ground. It's like, it wants to do so much, but it does so much and it lacks so much polish, it kind of hampers the game. This game could be really freaking awesome, and it kind of also is, but it needs a lot more work.
Also, like you said, there are a lot of things that I'd like to get. This game really needs a tutorial.
Oh, yeah.
For example, when I was picking up upgrades, I had no idea if the things I took were actually useful. I didn't really feel any change. The game really didn't explain itself really well. I mean, sometimes my character activated his psychic abilities, and I had no idea what I had done that made him do that.
Not to mention, there's both research you can do and cybernetic upgrades you can use. And I had no idea how all that worked. How did I set people to research things? None of it is explained. Maybe it stood in a lore text somewhere, but that's really not the optimal way to get that information to players.
Also, if I can add something about the sound and music. I have to say that the times, again, with the music where you had to cross certain areas, it was very fittingly subtle, and then when action started, then it had some kind of beat to it that I actually, if you will, felt that got you pumped. And also, I need to ask myself if the characters in the game, their physical voice, so to say, if it is sort of some kind of pre-sim era kind of speech, because I must admit I have no idea what the hell they're saying.
You probably mean post-sim era, since the Sims did come a lot
okay,
earlier than this.
Post-sim era then.
But yeah, that was very Simlish.
Yeah. Anyways, this game, if you like what you see here, give it a try. But just a warning: what happened to us might happen to you.
Yeah, and developers, if you are listening to this little speck of dust floating around in the ginormous sea of YouTube yelling, "I'm important," for the love of God, please, if you make another project or try to do more with the high universe, make your game stable. A game that can corrupt itself like this is just not good. It really shouldn't be able to do that. Please, for the love of God, fix it, because you have a lot of potential with this.
Would be awesome if they actually made a new or remake of this and it was released sometime in the future.
Yeah.
I have just released patches for this one. That could also do it.
Yep.
Look at Rome 2 when that was Rome 2 Total War when that was released. To begin with, that game was unplayable.
Well, it produced some really funny YouTube videos with
Yeah.
Romans sailing through the desert on their half ships.
Yeah, but
what?
Since then they fixed the problem, so now it can be played. You can do that here too.
Yeah. It's of course always a negative when you have to fix a game after you've published it, but I understand it's a small-time studio, and you kind of maybe, tried, what's that expression again? Yawned over more than you could bite. No, that's not it. That's Danish.
Try
to bite off more than you can chew.
That's how it goes in English. Thank you. And that happens, but there's potential here. So, yeah, that's all I really have to say.
So, at least you can say that it is not exactly a game we have to leave in hate, so to say.
It's more of a pity, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the Mars level was god-awful because there was no way. In that level really needed a map. That's what it needed.
On the other hand, I really liked the level when we were running around that base. That was fucking creepy.
Yep.
You tell me. I have to say, the time where the aliens jumped us, I think that is the one time in an LP I can recall that I have been very, very afraid.
Fear-free.
Oh. Yeah, that. Thank you for reminding me.
No problem.
Stupid Cobra.
Yeah. Anyways, I think, isn't that... For me, that's my 5 cents on the matter. How about you guys?
Me too.
Same as I.
Right, and this has been Eric Cobra.
And Rana Naraja.
And Warlord 1.
And this has been Let's Play I, Divine Cybermancy Blind. See you all around.
See you around, folks.
See ya.